used to say forever, like it couldn't break or bend, like love was something solid, like it didn't have an end. Your name fit in my future, like it had always been. Every dream I ever dreamed had you standing in. We built a life in whispers, late at night in the dark. Never thought we'd be the ones who'd watch forever fall apart. I felt it in the silence before you said a word, the kind of quiet heartbreak that's felt before it's heard. When forever fell apart, it didn't make a sound. It slipped right through our fingers and hit the ground. We were holding on to promises that couldn't hold our hearts. I never thought I'd live to see when forever fell apart. Your kisses lost their fire, your eyes began to roam. We were lying next to each other, but never felt so alone. You said we'd find our way back, that love just needed time, but time was slowly stealing what used to feel like mine. I kept trying to believe in the words you used to say, but forever started fading a little more each day. There's a difference between staying and already being gone. I was fighting for tomorrow while you were moving on. When forever fell apart, I felt my whole world shake. Every plan we ever made started to break. I held on to your memory like it was all I had. I never thought forever could end this bad. Maybe forever's just a word we say when we feel safe. Maybe love can still be real, even if it doesn't stay. I don't regret the way I loved or how hard I gave my heart. I just never saw it coming when forever fell apart. When forever fell apart, I learned how deep I feel, how something so beautiful can stop being real. You may have closed the chapter, but the scars still mark the night we watched it shatter. When forever fell apart, we said it would last forever. We swore it from the start. I just didn't know forever could fall apart. held your fears like fragile glass, so they wouldn't cut your skin. Took every doubt you ever had and folded it within. I told myself that love means you carry what they can. So I bent beneath the pressure while you just let it stand. You said you felt so broken, like you couldn't give me much. So I gave you all my strength and called it love. I thought if I was steady, you wouldn't fall apart. But I was slowly breaking, holding both our hearts. It was the weight I carried when you couldn't stand. The promises you dropped still resting in my hands. I carried every maybe, every silent scare. I carried all your absence like it wasn't there. It was the weight I carried. I softened every argument before it turned to flame. Blamed myself for distance when you stopped saying my name. I told the world you loved me, just in a different way. But loving shouldn't feel like begging someone to stay. I kept lifting all the hope you were too tired to hold. But love gets heavy when it's one soul. There's a difference between helping and losing who you are. And I was disappearing, trying to fix your scars. It was the weight I carried through every lonely night, through every fading promise, through every silent fight. I carried us for miles while you barely moved. I thought love meant sacrifice, but I had nothing left to lose. I don't regret my kindness or how deeply I care, but love shouldn't feel like one heart over-prepared. I can't keep building futures on shoulders that give in. I can't keep carrying what you won't carry with me. It was the weight I carried, but I'm setting it down. I can't keep holding everything while you don't turn around. I gave you all my strength, every hope and prayer, but forever's too heavy when I'm the only one there. I was never weak for loving that hard. But love shouldn't feel like a burden on my heart. Didn't keep a safety net, didn't leave a door unlocked when I gave my heart. told my friends this is it, like I'd finally won. I wasn't halfway loving you, I was all in from the start. You kept one foot in shadow, one hand on the line. I was drowning forever, you were buying time. I didn't play it careful, didn't hold back when I fell. I gave you every fragile part, never used to tell. I was all in, every promise, every prayer, every sleepless night, every hour breathed. I was all in. No doubts, no pretend. You were testing waters, I jumped off the deep end. I gave you everything, and then I was all in. I memorized your heartbeat like it was my favorite song, defended every flaw you had, even when you were wrong. I stayed through every silence, through every distant phase. You said you needed space. I gave you days I thought love could stab you if I just loved harder. But you can't anchor someone who doesn't want to harbor. There's a difference between falling and letting yourself fly. I risked my whole heart and you kept yours on standby. I was all in, through the highs and lows, through every crack we chose not to show. I was all in. When you started to bend, I kept saying forever. You said let's just see when. I believed in us till the end. I was all in. I don't regret the way I loved or how deep I dove. Some hearts just love without a goal. That's what I'm proud of. But I won't apologize for loving true. I was brave enough to give it all to you. I was all in. Love takes two. One heart can't win if the other's through. I gave you every piece of me, every dream I did. You might have held back, but I was all in. I wasn't reckless, I wasn't blind. I just believed in us with my whole heart and my whole mind. We didn't crash, we didn't burn. didn't shatter on the floor. We just slowly lost the spark we used to fight for. We still said I love you, still kiss before sleep, but something in between us was drifting out to sea. It wasn't at the beginning, it wasn't at the end. It was somewhere in the middle where we stopped trying again. No screaming, no goodbye, no storm to make it clear, just a quiet kind of breaking we both could feel but feared. We faded in the middle, not wrong and wrong, but not ready to fight. We lost the fire but kept the glow, stayed just enough not to let go. We didn't fall apart, we faded in the middle. We stopped planning weekends, stopped dreaming out loud, started living separate lives under the same cloud. Your hand still found mine, but it didn't feel the same. Like loving me was effort, like staying was a strain. I kept telling myself it's just a phase we'll fix, but phases turn permanent when you stop choosing it. There's a space between in love where nothing seems to end, but nothing feels alive enough to begin again. We faded in the middle of what we used to be, not broken enough to leave, not whole enough to breathe. We kept pretending it was still enough, but halfway love gets rough. We didn't say goodbye, we faded in the middle. I almost wish we'd shattered or fought until we cried, because quiet endings hurt the most when no one even tried. You can't fix a love that won't admit it's gone, and you can't stay in between for long. We faded in the middle of forever and the past, of we'll make it through and this won't last. I would've given all of me, but you gave just a little, and that's how we lost everything. We faded in the middle. Not at the start, not at the end. We didn't fall apart, we just faded in the middle. We started out unshaken, like nothing could break through. Two hearts beating steady, certain and true. about forever, like it was in our hands. Built a world around the words we'll always understand. The cracks don't make a sound when they first begin. They hide inside the quiet between where we've been. I thought that love could carry anything life brought, but strength means nothing if both hearts aren't fought for. Love didn't stay strong enough to hold us through the strain. We let the little fractures turn into quiet pain. I kept lifting both our hearts when yours was giving up. Forever needed two of us, but love didn't stay strong enough. You said we'd be okay, just tired, just stressed. But tired doesn't look like feeling second best. Your hands grew unfamiliar, your touch less sure, and I kept calling fragile something that wasn't pure. Storms if you had stood with me, but I can't be the only one trying to make us breathe. There's a difference between holding on and holding someone tight. When one heart starts to loosen, the other feels the fight. Love didn't stay strong bent beneath the weight. We let doubt grow louder than the promises we made. I stayed long after hope had quietly had enough. You stopped before forever, and love didn't stay strong enough. Maybe we were brave enough, just not scars. Maybe love needs tending more than just full hearts. I still believe we meant it when we said it was us, but meaning can't survive if it's not strong enough. Didn't stay strong enough to keep us side by side. We let the fear between us grow too wide. I gave you every ounce of me, every prayer and touch, but forever can't survive when love's not strong enough. It suddenly, we didn't fall apart rough. We just couldn't hold each other because love didn't stay strong enough. used to sit in the kitchen light, barefoot on the floor, talking about forever, like we never need more. Your hands were always steady, your heart was open wide. I felt so safe beside you, like I'd finally found my side. We promised we'd protect it, keep the fire strong, but even the brightest flame can burn out before long. I try to hold the embers when the spark was gone, whisper to the ashes, please stay warm long. Why didn't love stay warm long? Why did the fire fade? We were wrapped in golden light, now we're standing in the gray. I kept feeding every flicker, with hope I held on strong, but forever felt so fragile, and love didn't stay warm. Your kisses turned to habit, your laughter lost its sound. We stopped reaching for each other when no one was around. I blamed it on the seasons, on the weight of growing up, but seasons shouldn't freeze a heart that once burned hard enough. I kept believing in us long after you moved on. I was still holding summer in the middle of the dawn. You said love changes colors, but I didn't know that warmth could turn to winter so slow. Why didn't love stay warm long? Why did the heat run dry? We used to melt into each other, now we barely try. I would've stood beside you through every right and wrong, but love can't last on one heart. Maybe we got careless, stopped tending to the flame. Maybe we let silence whisper louder than our names. I still feel the ghost of you in every faded song, but memories can't keep a fire warm long. Love didn't stay warm long, though I tried to make it stay. I held on to the sunlight while you slipped away. Now I'm learning how to stand, even when it's wrong. We had something beautiful, it just didn't stay warm long. We were fire once, bright and strong, but even fire fades if it doesn't stay warm long. You said fight, but I was the only one staying up all night, trying to fix what was breaking, trying to understand why I was holding tighter while you loosened your hand. I memorized your silence like it held the key, but all it ever told me was you were drifting from me. I kept telling myself it's just a phase we'll conquer, but loving someone halfway makes you love harder. I loved harder when you loved less. I gave you my whole heart while you second guessed. I stayed stronger when you grew unsure. I carried both of us till I couldn't anymore. I didn't fall apart, I just loved harder. You called it complicated, I called it worth the pain. You said you needed distance, I stood out in the rain. I fought for every promise you started to ignore. I kept building futures you weren't fighting for. I thought if I gave more of me, you'd feel what I felt too. But love can grow deeper if it's only one heart that's true. There's a difference between loyalty and losing yourself. I kept pouring out my love till there was nothing left. I loved harder through every silent night, through every almost ending, through every fading light. I chose you daily, even when it hurt, but forever can't survive on one heart's work. I didn't give up, I just loved harder. I don't regret my devotion or how deeply I cared, but loving someone who won't fight back leaves you so bare. I shouldn't have to beg to be held the same. Love isn't a competition or a one-sided flame. I loved harder, but that wasn't enough. You can't save a love that's given up. I gave you everything from start to farther. You didn't lose me suddenly, I just loved harder. loved you deeper than you were ever there. I never measured what I gave you, never kept a score. If you needed all of me, I'd open every door. I let you see the messy parts, the doubts I couldn't hide. Put my heart out in the open with nowhere left to run or hide. I didn't know how to love halfway. I only knew how to stay. I loved you without limits, without walls, without defense. Gave you every fragile piece and every ounce of confidence. I trusted you with everything, every hope I built. You held my heart so loosely like it wasn't made of silk. I would have crossed every line just to feel you in it. I gave you all of me, I loved you without limit. When you doubted who you were, I told you you were strong. When your faith was running low, I tried to hold it on. I bent around your silence, turned excuses into grace. I made room for your distance while you erased my place. I kept thinking love meant sacrifice, even if it cost my life. I loved you without limits, through every warning sign, through every time you made me feel like loving me was fine. I stayed when it was heavy, when your effort grew thin. I was fighting for forever, you were fighting to give in. I ignored my intuition and the truth within it. I gave you more than you deserved. I loved you without limits. Maybe love needs boundaries, maybe love needs a line. Maybe loving endlessly shouldn't mean losing mine. I don't regret my heart for loving deep and wide. I just regret how far I let you push my worth aside. I thought if I gave you everything, you'd finally understand. But love can't grow in empty hands. I loved you without limits, till there was nothing left, till I was standing in the wreckage with an aching chest. I would have chosen you 1,000 times again, but I can't keep loving someone who won't meet me where I stand. Now I'm learning love should feel like safety, not a sentence. I won't lose myself again by loving without limits, by loving without limits. Next time I love, it'll still be deep and honest, but I'll keep a little of me unbroken and promised. didn't break me all at once, didn't slam the door. You kissed me like you always did, but just a little less than before. Your hands still held my waist at night, but they felt miles away. You said nothing's wrong, we're fine, while love began to fade. I kept believing in the warmth of what we used to be. Never saw the quiet way you believe in me. It wasn't loud, it wasn't cold, it wasn't cruel or bold. It was the slowest kind of goodbye, the kind you barely hold. You took my heart slowly, piece by fragile piece, turned forever into maybe, turned passion into peace. You didn't have to shatter me or rip my world apart. You just stopped loving me and took my heart slowly. The late night talks grew shorter, the laughter lost its spark. Your eyes would drift past mine like I was fading in the dark. I tried to fill the distance with promises and plans, but you were already slipping right through my hands. I blamed it on the timing, on stress and growing pains, but love doesn't disappear without leaving stains. I felt it in the silence, in the space between the words, and every I'm just tired that slowly started to hurt. You took my heart slowly, without a single fight, without a final warning, without a sleepless night. You let it weaken quietly until it couldn't start. You didn't crush me suddenly, you took my heart slowly. I almost wish you'd screamed or given me a reason to cry, something I could point to instead of wondering why. But you loved me less each day, so gently I couldn't see that the man I fell for was already free. You took my heart slowly while I was loving you hard. I kept holding on to hope while you lowered your guard. Now I'm left with the echo of who we used to be. You didn't break my heart in a moment, you took it slowly from me. wasn't small departures. You didn't take it suddenly. You took my heart slowly. Used to say forever, like it couldn't break or bend, like love was something certain, like it wouldn't have an end. I painted all my tomorrows with your name in every line. Every dream I ever dreamed had your hand in mine. Talked about the future like it was far away, but I was already living there from the day you said stay. I didn't love you halfway. I didn't leave a door when I said always. I meant more. On my side of forever, there were no doubts at all. No backup plans, no second thoughts, no fear of the fall. I built my whole world around what we were, but forever looked different on my side of forever. Said you needed time, that love can feel unsure, but I was steady as the tide, certain and pure. I held on to every promise like it was carved in stone, but you kept one foot outside like you were never fully home. I was planning anniversaries, you were planning escape. I didn't see the distance until it was too late. There's a difference between loving and leaving room to run. I gave you all my days, you gave me almost one. On my side of forever, you were my only choice. Every whispered I love you came from my whole voice. I would have stayed through storms, through every high and low, but forever can't survive if it's only one who knows. I don't regret my faith or how deeply I believed. Some hearts love without limits, even when deceived. Maybe that's my blessing, or maybe it's my flaw, but I'd rather love too fully than never love at all. On my side of forever, I meant every word, every promise, every prayer, every dream you heard. You stopped at for now. I never did sever. You Because on my side of forever, I never let you go. We started out so gentle, like hands learning how to hold. Your voice was soft as Sunday, your heart was open gold. You said love should be patient, should never cross a line. I believed in every promise, every you're safe in mine. But somewhere in the quiet, your tenderness declined. I kept asking in the dark, love, stay kind. Love, stay kind, don't turn cold overnight. Don't use words like weapons in the middle of a fight. If we're breaking, let it be without crossing lines. If you ever love me, love, stay kind. You stopped choosing softness, started keeping score. Turn little misunderstandings into something more. I watched your patience thinning, felt your mercy fade. And every time you hurt me, you said it's just the way. Love shouldn't feel like thunder crashing through your mind. If we can't stay together, love, stay kind. Love, stay kind, even if we fall apart. Even if forever isn't written in our hearts. Don't turn love into regret or anger left behind. If you ever love me, love, stay kind. We don't have to be forever to be something good. We don't have to leave in pieces or misunderstood. If you're walking out the door, leave gently, don't rewind. You can break my heart, just love, stay kind. Soft, break kind. Now I'm learning strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the way you let someone down. Love, stay kind when the truth is hard to say. When you know you're leaving, but you're choosing the right way. I can survive the ending. If you don't cross the line, you don't have to love me. Just love, stop saying I miss you at the end of every day. Your kisses turn to habit, your laughter felt rehearsed, but I kept loving louder, like I could love you first. I saw it in your distance, in the way you'd pull away, but I kept holding tighter, hoping you would stay. You said we were just tired, that we'd be fine again, but I felt you slowly leaving while I leaned in. You stopped, I didn't. You let the fire fade. I kept feeding every ember of the love we made. You started saying maybe, I still said always. You stopped believing in us, but I didn't walk away. You stopped fighting for forever, stopped trying to explain, started calling distance just a little space. You said you felt confused, that you needed time, but I was standing certain with your heart in mine. I defended you in silence when everyone could see the way you stopped choosing what we used to be. There's a difference between loving and letting go. You were drifting slowly, I didn't let it show. You stopped, I didn't. You loosened your hold. I kept carrying both our hearts through the growing cold. You started turning pages, I was still on the same. You stopped saying my name, like it meant the same. I almost wish you'd broken it, shouted it out loud, instead of fading gently behind a quiet cloud. Because loving someone alone feels like losing slow, and the hardest part of heartbreak is watching someone go. You stopped, I didn't. I loved you to the end, through every crack and silence, through every will pretend. You let forever slip, like it was something small. You stopped choosing me, I didn't stop at all. I wasn't blind, I just believed. You stopped loving, I never did leave. spaces between me and you. We still said I love you, and softer than before. Like the words were losing meaning as they hit the floor. I felt it in your silence, in the way you look away. Like part of you was leaving a little more each day. I knew we were unraveling, but I refused to see that holding on to something gone was breaking me. I stayed through the long goodbye, through every almost end, through every tear we didn't cry, through love we couldn't mend. I held on to your fading heart while you let us slide. I stayed through every silent night, through the long goodbye. They stopped making plans, stopped talking about someday, started living separate lives while lying in the same place. You'd say we're just tired, that we'll be fine in time, but time is slowly stealing what used to be mine. I kept reaching for your hand even when it fell. Tried to save a love that was saying farewell. There's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't crash or cry. It lingers in the quiet like a long goodbye. I stayed through the long goodbye, through the slow retreat, through every distant heartbeat, skipping next to me. I told myself it's temporary, it's just a phase, just try. But love was walking out the door, and the long goodbye. Maybe I should have left sooner, maybe I should have known. You can't hold on to someone who's already gone. But I loved you too deeply to just walk away, so I stood in the fading light and watched us slip away. I stayed through the long goodbye until there was nothing left, until your touch felt unfamiliar against my chest. I didn't leave because I stopped or because I didn't try. I left when love was finally gone, after the long goodbye. It wasn't one last moment, it wasn't one last cry. It was loving you slowly through the long goodbye. light through my broken blinds. Promise me a safe place, somewhere I could rest my mind. I let you see the fragile parts I used to hide. You said, baby, trust me, so I let you inside. Now the quiet feels like thunder. Every room echoes your name. I was finally healing. Now I'm bleeding again. I was steady, I was breathing. I was learning to be free. Then you touched my guarded heart and took the best of me. Why took my peace? Why did you wake the love in me? If you were only gonna leave, I was whole before your arms. Now I fall apart in my sleep. You said you'd stay forever, but forever didn't mean a thing. Why give me heaven for a moment, just to take everything? Why took my peace? I was finally strong enough to stand here on my own, build my walls with careful hands, made that lonely house a home. Then you kissed every scar like they were made of gold. Now I'm staring at the ceiling, feeling smaller than before. Your goodbye was cold and quiet, no warning, no release, just a door that slowly closed on the better part of me. You said I was your answer. You said I was your truth. Now I'm left with all your words and nothing left to prove. Why took my peace? Why did you wake the love in me? If you were only gonna leave, I was whole before your arms. Now I fall apart in my sleep. You said you'd stay forever, but forever didn't mean a thing. Why give me heaven for a moment, just to take everything? Why took my peace? I was finally finding light after years of darkest nights. You saw hope inside my eyes and turned it into goodbye. Was I just a place to land until you found somewhere new? Did you ever really love me like I loved you? I took my peace. Why did you make my heart believe you were all I'd ever need? memory. Why break a soul that trusted when I was finally free? Why took my peace? I was healing. Until you took my peace. We used to stay up talking till the sun came through the blinds, tracing little constellations in the freckles on your spine. Your laugh would fill the room like nothing else existed. Now the quiet hits so loud, like something's gone missing. We used to dance in kitchens, barefoot on cold tile. Now we barely brush our hands when we pass in the aisle. I keep looking at your face, trying to see the man who used to love me the way we used to be. So strong, two hearts in perfect rhythm, like we couldn't go wrong. We used to be everything I need. Now I'm just holding memories of who we used to be. To hold me closer, like you were scared to lose. Now I feel the distance in everything you do. We used to make up quickly, couldn't stand a fight. Now we let the silence stretch into the night. I don't know when it shifted or where we lost our way, but somewhere in the middle, forever turned to someday. I keep replaying moments like they might set me free, back to the version of us we used to be. Without fear, saying each other's name. We used to be the kind they envy. We used to be unbreakable, bright, holding on to forever with all our might. We used to be more than just history, but now all that's left is who we used to be. I still see flashes of you and me, but flashes fade of who we used to be. We tiptoed around the truth like it might break the floor. Smiled through the tension we didn't name before. You said it's just a rough patch, I said we'll be okay, but neither one of us had the courage to say that we were slowly slipping through hands I used to hold. The love was growing fragile where it once was bold. We hid behind I'm fine, and we just need some space. But love can't heal in silence if no one's brave. If we were brave, we would have said the hard things before the silence grew and broke everything. If we were brave, we would have fought for us instead of letting distance turn into dust. Maybe we'd still be standing if we were brave. You looked at me like something was heavy on your chest. I felt it in the quiet when we laid down to rest. We were scared of hurting, scared of letting go, so we held on to pretending more than we let show. I wanted to ask you, do you still feel the same? But fear kept the question locked in my veins. There's a difference between loving and being afraid, and we let fear decide instead of being brave. If we were brave, we would have faced the cracks before they turned to canyons we couldn't walk back. If we were brave, we would have said I'm scared instead of acting like we didn't care. Maybe we'd still be whole if we were brave. stopped loving. I think we stopped believing that honesty could save us from leaving. We let the fear of breaking break us anyway. And now all that's left is what happened yesterday. If we were brave, we would have held on tight through every hard conversation, through every lonely night. If we were brave, we might have found a way to turn our almost ending into forever stay. We might have kept our love alive if we were brave. We weren't cruel, we weren't unkind. We were just two hearts, too scared to try. If we were brave. You were standing right beside me, but I felt you miles away. Your eyes stopped meeting mine, like they didn't know what to say. We used to face the world like nothing could break through. Now I'm staring at a shadow, wondering what happened to you. Your hand slipped out of mine, like it needed to be free. But you didn't say goodbye, you just stopped choosing me. There's a moment love goes quiet before it walks away, and I felt it in my chest when you turned away. When you turned away, I felt forever cry, like something sacred broke and never came back. You didn't raise your voice, you didn't slam the door, you just stopped looking at me the way you did before. And that's when I knew we wouldn't stay. It ended in your eyes when you turned away. We still said I love you, but it didn't feel the same. Like the words were just habit, not a burning flame. I kept trying to reach you through silence and doubt, but loving someone halfway wears a heart out. You said you were just tired, that everything's okay. But tired doesn't feel like you turning away. difference between staying and already gone. I was fighting for tomorrow while you were moving on. When you turned away, I felt it in my bones, like lying next to you was sleeping alone. You didn't say you were leaving, but I felt the sway. Love didn't scream goodbye, it just turned away. I almost wish you had broken things, given me a fight instead of slowly fading out of my life. Because quiet endings linger long after they play, and I still see that moment when you turned away. When you turned away, you took the light with you, left me holding memories of something once true. I would have fought forever if you'd asked me to stay, but forever ended when you turned away. It wasn't loud, it wasn't cruel, it was just one look, and I knew when you turned you held me like you needed me, but not enough to stay. You said I meant the world to you, but not in that forever way. You traced my skin with tenderness, whispered what I wanted most, but every promise from your lips felt like a fading ghost. You looked at me like someday, like maybe we could be, but maybe never built a home for someone like me. I kept mistaking almost for something close to true. I didn't see the distance in your I love you. It was your almost love that broke me in the end, close enough to hold, but not enough to mend. You gave me just a taste of what we could have been. I fell for all your almost again and again. You said you weren't ready, didn't let me go. You kept me in the in-between of yes and no. I built my heart around you while you kept 1 foot free. You were never fully mine, but you were enough to hurt me. You kissed me like forever, but lived like passing through. I gave you all my certainty. You gave me half of you. There's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't crash or show. It's soft and slow and steady. It's almost love. It was your almost love that kept me holding on, close enough to feel, but already gone. You never said goodbye. You never said enough. You just left me standing in your almost love. I don't blame you for your fear or the walls you built inside, but I can't live forever on feelings you divide. I deserve a love that's certain, not a fragile, fragile touch. I can't keep breaking for almost love. It was your almost love that tore my heart in two. Almost forever, almost true. I gave you all my everything. You gave me just enough to lose myself completely in your almost love. You weren't cruel, you weren't rough. You just didn't love me enough. You don't look at me the same, like I'm fading from your view. Your hands don't hold as tightly as they used to do. We used to talk and always, now it's we'll see soon. I feel the distance growing in the quiet of this room. I see the doubt inside you like a shadow on the wall. But when I search my own heart, it hasn't changed at all. Even with the cracks showing, even when it's hard, I'm still standing in the doorway, holding my heart. I'm still choosing you, even when you hesitate, even when your love feels small and mine feels overweight. I'm still choosing you through every shade of blue, but forever can't need some space. Say you're feeling lost, but love shouldn't feel like counting what it costs. I'd fight through every storm if you just hold my hand. But I can't keep building futures on shifting sand. I'm not asking for perfection, just something real. Just a sign that what we have is something you still feel. There's a difference between staying and barely hanging on. I'm still fighting for us while you're halfway gone. I'm still choosing you when it hurts this bad, when I'm missing what we were more than what we have. I'm still choosing you when the spark feels few, but love can't live forever if I'm choosing for two. I don't wanna beg you or force you to remain. Love should feel like shelter, not walking through the rain. I choose you every lifetime if you choose me too. But I can't keep losing myself, still choosing you. I'm still choosing you, but I'm losing me, trying to hold together what you don't wanna be. I'll always love deeply, that's just what I do. But I can't keep breaking, still choosing you. I was never afraid of loving, I was afraid of losing you. But love shouldn't feel lonely when I'm still choosing you. We were golden in the beginning, like sunlight on the sea. Every promise felt unbreakable, every touch felt meant to be. You looked at me like forever was written in your eyes. We said we'd never be the ones who slowly say goodbye. We build our dreams in whispers, late at night in the dark. Never thought the very thing we loved would pull us apart. We didn't mean to lose it, we didn't mean to rush, but somewhere between the loving we stopped protecting us. Love didn't stay true to us, didn't hold the weight trust turned into distance, the fire turned to dust. We were holding on to memories when love stopped choosing us. Love didn't stay true to us. The silence answer where words were meant to fight. Let pride sit at the table every single night. I kept reaching for your hand, you kept pulling away. We called it just a season, but seasons tend to change. I don't think we stopped caring, I don't think we stopped trying, but love can fade so quietly without either one lying. We meant every forever when we said it back then, but forever doesn't promise it won't break in the end. Love didn't stay true to us, didn't stay brave and strong. Somewhere between right and wrong, we both held on too long. The tenderness we once had wasn't enough to adjust. We were fighting for each other when love stopped fighting for us. Love didn't stay true to us. Maybe love needs tending like a fragile flame. Maybe we let the wind in and let it change. I still believe we meant it when we said it was forever, but meaning doesn't always keep hearts together. Love didn't stay true to us even though we tried. We let the cracks grow deeper and never asked them why.